Galactic Standard Date. Year 11356. Day 94. Sol Standard Date. 4th of the 6th. 3267. Basilisk was cursing himself and not considering that maybe Amaranth wasn't just bringing him up to 100% of his own power, but she was actually serving as an unlimited ammo supply, as well as an amplifier. He was struggling to hold back the nuclear veil fires that seemed to be growing still. He'd only been holding the shield for 15 seconds, but it felt like an eternity, as he had to continuously expand the shield. What in the actual fuck? I know I chose the nuclear option, but come on! This is clearly too much boom! Basilisk mentally facepalmed himself as he realized he could ask Amaranth for help telepathically. Amaranth, I need you to throw a shield onto the other side of this nuke. We need to bubble it and turn it the fuck off. It feels like it is still growing. Amaranth was mesmerized by the veil energies running rampant in front of her. She watched as a tendril of fire grazed the nearby moon and sheared a whole chunk of it off, as though it wasn't connected to begin with. Another tendril struck out and bisected the moon clean through, and she snapped out of her reverie as Bastards connected their minds. You need me to throw a shield up on that? You aren't seeing it from where I'm at. This is literally an insane amount of energy. The last time something of this magnitude was unleashed was in the Gods' War. Yet, as you say, it grows still. I will attempt to shield this side, but I do not believe it will be easy. Roseni watched, as the moon she grew up under was cut in half, as though it was made of paper, and she gasped. It should be so sad to see the moon I grew up under destroyed, yet all I feel is awe. Perhaps I am no longer truly Roseri. I've become greater than Roseri through contact with the Lord of Death. Lucian was watching his charge, as her face lit up and a manic grin spread across her face that chilled him to the bone. Yet he stayed silent, as his training Stacy should. Drell froze in shock as he watched the solar map. His face blackened in fear, causing the normally Roseri ghostly pale skin into the colour of his chitin. Razaria looked over at him and pulled up a map of the solar system onto the holotable, only to see that their moon had a chunk get cleanly shaved off the side. Then, a cold chill filled the room as the hologram suddenly split in half. Razaria looked up at the ceiling. The moon will be fine. This is a god after all. He can do whatever he wishes. If the moon was meant to go, then it was meant to go. If not, he will mend it. She looked at her war council with a placid smile. Do not worry, God is with us. His divine power will protect and shield us, his divine power will strike down our enemies, and perhaps he will mend our moon if he wishes. This is such a simple statement, yet I feel as though it holds more power than any imperial decree I've ever made. Brands and Drow were staring at their queen, who had the most uncaring and free look plastered on her face that they'd ever seen. Brands cleared his throat. My queen, are you well? You look different. Razaria smiled like a child and began yelling. I've never felt better. God is on our side. Our fallen joined him at his side in the underworld successfully. All of those who have died thus far did not die in vain. They petitioned Death himself to come to our aid. We can leave it all to our God. We can finally relax. She slowly got quieter during her rant until she finally sprawled out onto the holotable and fell asleep. Brands and Drell just looked at each other in confusion. Basilisk groaned as he forced himself to use more of the Veil's power than ever before. The edges of his shield slowly closing in on the edges of Amaranth's own shield. He pushed himself further than he thought possible so that he could protect those behind him. He kept pushing his limits over and over again, until he felt something akin to a pop in his very soul. Basilisk looked around and saw that everything had frozen except for himself. The fires were no longer growing. His shield no longer took any veil, and the rubble around him had stopped mid-air. Ah, finally, a new sun. Basilisk spun around, trying to find the source of the voice, but he couldn't even place the direction it came from. He closed his eyes and concentrated when it dawned on him. Telepathy. Who are you? And what do you mean by calling me a new sun? You can talk to me. I suppose you do have a right to know, as you are my newest child. However, Maleficus's own memories seem to be overloading your mind already. Oh, right, you changed your names. I suppose I will simply have to tell you. I am the father of all the gods, you included. I called you a son because that is what you are. You have melded your soul to that of my daughter. Thusly, I am your father-in-law, as you would so put it. Basilisk narrowed his eyes. Amaranth said that you died, stabbed by your own children in an attempt to gain your power. Ah, yes, Male, Trenia, Salthasun, and Kel. Unfortunately for them, I cannot be killed, not even through their rather unorthodox means. However, they did succeed in banishing my soul for a few decillion years and counting. Truthfully, I was not aware that it was possible to connect your mind with mine, whilst I'm in this damned nothingness. I would like to know how you're able to connect with me. Basilisk cocked up an eyebrow. I connected with telepathy after you spoke to me. Perhaps. I am certain that I am going to be permanently stuck here while those four maintain the seal. Basilisk narrowed his eyes again. Is this the part where you asked me to kill them to free you? Goodness, no. I would like them to be incapacitated, but not killed. They are my children. Regardless, it would not matter, as they are well and truly immortal, though I suppose they will still need punishment for what they've done to the few universes since my disappearance. We will decide on that at a later date. Basilisk sighed. Great. Now you are asking me to wage war on 3 other gods, while just this one has nearly brought my own people to extinction, and is currently trying to commit a genocide that I am literally in the middle of. Sorry. Basilisk's eyes widened in shock as time slowly kicked back in, and he found himself making a shield that was almost as big around as the planet he was standing on. The edges of his shield made contact with Amaranth's own, completely encapsulating his nuke. He could feel it dying out now that it had no more matter to feed on. Holy fuck!